The Baltimore Ravens shook the football world with a bombshell that no one quite expected. After 18 seasons at the helm, John Harbaugh is officially no longer the head coach of the Ravens. This decision has sent shockwaves not only through Baltimore, but across the entire NFL landscape, leaving fans, players, and analysts scrambling to understand what exactly led to the parting of ways. For years, Harbaugh has been a fixture in the city, building a legacy defined by commitment, loyalty, and success. He guided the Ravens through countless seasons of triumphs, heartbreaks, and unforgettable moments, cementing himself as one of the most respected figures in football. Yet, despite his long tenure and accomplishments, the team has chosen to move in a new direction, and the reasons behind this move are complex and multi-layered. From the reports emerging immediately after the firing, it became clear that this decision was not just about the team's performance in the playoffs. Multiple sources point to a combination of factors that ultimately led to the Ravens parting ways with Harbaugh. While some expected the move might be tied to the offensive staff, particularly offensive coordinator Todd Monken, it appears the situation ran far deeper. Conversations between front office executives, coaches, and players all played a role, creating a scenario where the team felt it needed a fresh start at the top. Even Harbaugh himself seemed surprised by the decision. By all accounts, he believed he was in good standing, planning to continue with his current staff and fully expecting to lead the Ravens for the foreseeable future. He wanted to maintain continuity, preserve relationships within the locker room, and keep the team on a path he had spent nearly 2 decades shaping. One of the most compelling elements that emerged from the coverage is the idea that the locker room dynamic played a critical role. According to multiple reports, the relationship between Harbaugh and key players, including quarterback Lamar Jackson, had begun to fracture over time. While it wasn't necessarily a dramatic clash, the misalignment of visions and personalities created tensions that the organization could no longer overlook. Harbaugh was often described as a buffer, particularly between Jackson and Monken, trying to manage differences in style and approach. But it seems that even his efforts were not enough to keep the group united in the way the Ravens leadership wanted. Player sentiment and opinion mattered here, and the organization listened closely to those voices when deciding the team's future. What adds another layer of intrigue is the nature of the decision itself. While it's common for coaching changes to involve input from the general manager and front office, in this case, it appears the final call rested squarely with team owner Steve Bisciotti. Sources indicate that the front office had reservations about moving on from Harbaugh and even tried to dissuade the owner, but ultimately, the decision to part ways was his alone. This underscores just how high stakes and personal the situation was. Harbaugh had strong relationships throughout the organization, including friendships with executives, coaches, and players. The decision to remove him as head coach was reportedly difficult, even for Bisciotti, who acknowledged the magnitude of the moment and the respect owed to Harbaugh for his nearly 2 decades of service. In the wake of the news, reactions have poured in from across the league. Current and former players expressed deep respect and gratitude for Harbaugh's tenure, highlighting the impact he had not just on games, but on their personal and professional development. Marlon Humphrey, Brent Urban, and other Ravens players have publicly shared their appreciation for Harbaugh's leadership, illustrating the lasting bonds formed over the years. Even as reports suggest that Harbaugh lost the locker room to some extent, it is clear that he leaves behind a legacy defined by relationships, mentorship, and a commitment to excellence that will not be forgotten. Meanwhile, speculation about Harbaugh's next destination is already heating up. Multiple teams have reportedly reached out to his representatives, with interest from as many as 9 organizations. Even though only 6 head coaching vacancies currently exist, the New York Giants have been frequently mentioned as a potential landing spot, and Harbaugh's reputation and experience make him an attractive candidate for any team seeking stability and leadership. Analysts point out that he is likely to be scooped up quickly, given the combination of his track record, football knowledge, and the respect he commands around the league. With the NFL offseason underway, the coming weeks are expected to bring clarity on where Harbaugh's journey will continue. For Baltimore, the focus now shifts to the search for a new head coach. Names are already being discussed, with some candidates having prior ties to the Ravens organization. Coordinators who understand the culture and have experience working with Baltimore players are being considered, as the team looks to maintain continuity while injecting new energy and ideas. The challenge for the Ravens is finding a leader capable of commanding the locker room, connecting with star players like Lamar Jackson and pushing the franchise back into contention. The upcoming weeks will be a critical period for the organization as they evaluate candidates, conduct interviews, and ultimately select a leader who can navigate the pressures and expectations inherent in a team with championship aspiration. Amid all of this, Harbaugh himself has shared his thoughts in a statement that balances disappointment with gratitude, reflecting on his tenure. He expressed appreciation for the organization, the fans, his players, and the broader community that supported him over nearly 2 decades. He highlighted the values he sought to instill: faith, resilience, and relentless effort, and spoke of the meaningful relationships he formed along the way. Even in parting, his message carried a sense of optimism and acknowledgement of the larger journey, emphasizing that his career and legacy are defined not only by wins and losses, but by the impact he had on those around him. Fans and analysts alike have praised the depth and sincerity of his statement, noting that it reflects the character and professionalism Harbaugh brought to Baltimore every single day. As the dust begins to settle, the story is far from over. The Ravens organization is navigating uncharted territory, balancing the need for stability with the opportunity for renewal. Questions about the next head coach, the direction of the team's offensive and defensive strategies, and the future of key players like Lamar Jackson are all at the forefront of discussions. Meanwhile, the NFL community watches closely, recognizing that the ripple effects of this decision will extend far beyond Baltimore. The firing of John Harbaugh is a pivotal moment, one that will be analyzed, debated, and felt across the league for months to come. And while the Ravens move forward with a new leadership vision, Harbaugh's influence on the team, the city, and the sport will remain a defining chapter in NFL history. With John Harbaugh's departure officially confirmed, the Ravens' next chapter is taking shape, and the questions surrounding the team's future are more pressing than ever. Fans and analysts alike are trying to piece together what the organization will prioritize as it searches for a new head coach. Leadership, locker room management, and the ability to connect with star players like Lamar Jackson are now at the top of the list. The timing of Harbaugh's firing makes this even more intriguing. With the offseason already underway, Baltimore has a chance to reorient the franchise, but the stakes could not be higher. The team must carefully navigate both the search for a successor and the broader implications for its roster, offensive and defensive schemes, and long-term identity. As the Ravens enter this transition period, multiple names have already been floated as potential candidates to take over the reins. Coordinators with ties to Baltimore are getting particular attention, as familiarity with the culture and players is considered a key factor. Offensive coordinators who understand Lamar Jackson's unique skill set and can maximize his talents will naturally be prioritized. Defensive-minded candidates who can uphold the toughness and discipline that have long defined the Ravens' identity are also under serious consideration. The goal for Baltimore's front office is clear: to find someone who can inspire confidence in the locker room, create cohesion among coaches and players, and deliver results in one of the league's most competitive divisions. The ripple effect of Harbaugh's exit has already begun to spread across the NFL. Teams with head coaching vacancies are watching closely, assessing both Baltimore's approach and the potential availability of a proven veteran coach. Harbaugh's reputation as a steady, accomplished leader means that multiple organizations could be actively courting him, which adds complexity to Baltimore's hiring process. The balance between finding the right fit for the Ravens and navigating the league-wide coaching carousel creates a high-stakes environment that will dominate headlines for weeks. Meanwhile, Harbaugh's next move is being watched with anticipation, as any decision he makes will have consequences not just for the teams involved, but for the overall competitive landscape within Baltimore. The emphasis on leadership and personality compatibility is critical. The reports suggesting that the breakdown with Lamar Jackson and Todd Monken influenced the decision indicate that the new head coach must be someone who can unify the team and maintain harmony in the locker room. Player engagement, communication, and trust are no longer secondary considerations. They are central to the organization's long-term vision. The next head coach will need to balance authority with collaboration, guiding a roster filled with talent while addressing the complexities that come with high expectations and a passionate fan base. The stakes for this hire could not be higher, as it will define the trajectory of the franchise for years to come. For Lamar Jackson, the transition presents both challenges and opportunities. As the cornerstone of the Ravens' offense, His relationship with the new head coach will shape how the team approaches its game plan and strategy. A leader who understands Jackson's strengths, respects his leadership on the field, and can integrate his unique abilities into a broader offensive system will be crucial. The right coaching hire could unlock new dimensions in Jackson's game and elevate the Ravens' potential for success, while the wrong fit could create friction that slows progress and disrupts cohesion. The delicate balance between maintaining a star player's confidence and enforcing team structure will be one of the central challenges facing Baltimore's decision-makers off the field. The organizational dynamics are equally significant, with the firing reportedly initiated by owner Steve Bisciotti. The balance of power and decision-making authority within the front office is under scrutiny. The choice of a new head coach will reflect not only football strategy, but also the owner's vision for the franchise, the front office's influence, and the alignment between executive leadership and coaching philosophy. Maintaining stability while introducing new leadership requires a nuanced approach, particularly when dealing with a team that has experienced consistent competitiveness and high expectations. Every interview, evaluation, and decision will carry heightened weight as the Ravens navigate this pivotal period. Speculation around potential candidates is already rampant. Coaches with past connections to the team, coordinators who have demonstrated success in high-pressure environments, and leaders known for building strong locker room cultures are all being discussed. Analysts are debating which style, offensive innovation, defensive discipline, or a balanced approach would best complement Baltimore's existing roster. The conversation extends beyond coaching ability alone, encompassing leadership skills, communication, adaptability, and the capacity to thrive under intense scrutiny, with fans eager for clarity. Every move and rumor is being dissected, creating an atmosphere of anticipation and uncertainty that will likely dominate NFL discourse throughout the offseason. The broader implications for the league cannot be overstated. The firing of a coach with Harbaugh's tenure and success sends a message across the NFL that even long-term stability is no guarantee. In a results-driven environment, teams watching Baltimore's approach may reevaluate their own coaching situations, and the movement of top-tier candidates could trigger additional shifts in other organizations. The domino effect of this decision may influence not only the Ravens' future, but also the trajectory of several other franchises. In this sense, Baltimore's next steps are not just a local story. They are a national talking point with ripple effects that could shape coaching strategies and organizational decisions across the league. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support keeps us bringing you the latest news on the Baltimore Ravens. And hey, drop your take in the comments below. We want to hear from the flock. Whispers around the league are growing louder, and one of the most intriguing rumors making the rounds involves the Baltimore Ravens and a potential blockbuster move that could redefine their offensive identity. According to sources close to the situation, Baltimore is exploring the possibility of bringing in Christian McCaffrey, a move that would instantly electrify the backfield and send shockwaves across the NFL landscape. The idea of McCaffrey in a Ravens uniform is already fueling heated debates among analysts and fans alike. Known for his versatility, elite vision, and unmatched ability as both a runner and receiver, McCaffrey would represent a dramatic shift in how defenses are forced to prepare for Baltimore. Pairing him with DERRICK Henry, the league's most feared power back, could create one of the most unique and dangerous running back duos the modern game has ever seen. Insiders suggest the Ravens front office has been quietly studying ways to maximize their championship window, and this rumored pursuit fits perfectly into that mindset. Henry's bruising downhill style wears defenses down, while McCaffrey's agility and football IQ exploit any hesitation or mismatch. The contrast alone could stretch defensive schemes to their breaking point, opening lanes not only on the ground, but throughout the entire offensive structure. There is also a belief that Baltimore's offensive philosophy could evolve dramatically. With such a pairing, to backs capable of dictating tempo would allow the Ravens to control games without relying on predictable patterns, keeping opponents constantly guessing while nothing has been confirmed. The mere possibility has already captured national attention. For now, it remains speculation. But in a league driven by bold moves and ambition, the notion of McCaffrey and Henry sharing a backfield feels less like fantasy and more like a statement of intent. If this rumor gains traction, Baltimore may soon be at the center of one of the most talked about transformations in recent NFL memory. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay in the loop with exclusive news on our Baltimore Ravens, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what the flock thinks. Drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.